How is it going, everyone? We've got a ton of Black Friday deals to go over in this video. We're gonna give a shout to videogamesplus.ca. Low-key, they are one of the best spots to do your Black Friday shopping. You do have to crack $75 for free shipping. They're based out of Canada, but you're getting the games at great prices, and yeah, I would highly recommend shopping there. They've got a Sony publisher sale live right now, and a lot of the deals there are just ridiculous and definitely worthwhile to check out. They've got other deals live. We'll be going over it, but want to go over that sale. Best Buy, they are rolling out a bunch of deals right now, and I want to go over some of that as well, and then we'll go over some Amazon deals as well. I'm a little bit overwhelmed covering everything right now, but trying to round out the best deals for you guys on PlayStation stuff. So, let's kick it off with the Sony publisher sale over at VGP. Links to everything in the description box below. They have got Astra, and by the way, their prices are listed in Canadian. Bottom left corner of the screen, you can change the currency to USD. Astrabot is $35.60. This is by far the best price we have seen on Astrabot. It's a game that, you know, has been holding up in price. These Sony first-party titles always hold up in price for a while, but now we can finally get it south of $40, which is great. Definitely recommend that. At $35.60, a great deal on that. And it was, you know, Video Game Awards' Game of the Year 2024. I'm a little bit partial towards Metaphor, but nonetheless, it's obviously a tremendous platformer. Great pickup there. Bloodborne, the Greatest Hits Edition, is $10.67. I mean, it's Bloodborne. You can check that out. Death Stranding 2 on the beach, $46.28. I mean, that'll get you pretty damn close to the $75 free shipping mark right out the gate, and very much worth it. Death Stranding 2 is absolutely awesome. It is currently my 1B for Game of the Year alongside Expedition 33. I just thought Death Stranding 2 was ridiculously good. I know some people preferred the first game. I think the second game is better. I think it's way better, to be perfectly honest. I just think the narrative is so much more cohesive. I think the gameplay is so much better, and that game is going on my games I'm gonna play for the rest of my life category, you know? I love that game, think it's great, soundtrack is incredible, you know, it's just fantastic, so I highly recommend that. $46.28 on that. Death Stranding Director's Cut, $21.35. You know, that's gonna be $19.99, I would imagine, at a lot of spots. Like, some of these games you're getting good deals on relative to other spots. It's just like, yo, that's what Black Friday comes down to. Pick and choose, you know, pick your spots, and you're gonna get that. That's why we're covering all the different spots. You guys can come and get whatever the deals the best are. So, Death Stranding 1, I mean, that's a great deal still, $21.35, but it's probably going to be $20, I would imagine, at some spots. Demon's Souls Remake, $28.48. How about this? They've got Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation 4 for $10.67. What you should get, though, is the Director's Cut on PlayStation 5. That's $28.48. Check that out. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima is awesome. It's kind of surprising the game is still this expensive, given that Yote came out, but I think that's what you're going to see out of a lot of PlayStation first-party games, that they're just going to hold up in price for eons and eons, and there's nothing we can do about it. They're getting into Nintendo territory. Not quite there yet, not quite there yet. I mean, Nintendo, we have to look at Mario Odyssey being $30, an 8-year-old game, and celebrate that that's a good deal. So, it is what it is. $28.48 on that. God of War Ragnarok is $21.35. Again, that's going to be $20 at certain spots. Here, we have two deals that are bangers that I don't think are getting enough attention. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered is $21.35. That previously, that game's lowest price has been $30, so that is an awesome deal. $21.35 on that is great. And then the Forbidden West Complete Edition is $28.48. Both of the games, all content on disc. Forbidden West Complete Edition gets you the base game and Burning Shores. $28.48 on that is great. Zero Dawn Remastered, $21.35 on that is great relative to the price points that we have seen. So highly recommend those. Obviously, you guys know me. I love Horizon. I glaze it all the time. It has its issues for sure, but I still think the games are fantastic. By the way, another great deal at VGP kind of snuck in there. Stellar Blade. Finally, the Gooners are gonna stop the discount this time. $35.60 on Stellar Blade. That's a great deal as well. Definitely recommend that. Thank the high heavens we don't gotta pay $50 for a game that is damn near 2 years old at this point. We can get it for $35. Hallelujah. We've been having to pay $50 for so long on that, so good to see that getting a hefty discount. Happy about that. So $35.60 on that. Last of Us Part 1 is $28.48, and Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is $28.48. So some great deals across the board on VGP. Not a spot that's going to get a lot of attention, but definitely deserves some more attention, so highly recommend that. All right, moving on. All of you guys got a Best Buy around you, and they've got some great deals. Best Buy historically has been one of the best spots to do your Black Friday shopping, so we got some great deals available. Starting things off, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is $49.99. This is actually probably going to be one of those deals that's better digitally than physically, and given how much Konami has been wild with their digital pricing, that's kind of surprising because this is already $49 digitally on the Xbox store, so you know, shout out to them. Delta Snake Eater is tremendous. It's one of my favorite games of the year. I guess it's not in the mix for Game of the Year because it is a remake, but man, Metal Gear Solid 3 is an outstanding game. It's absolutely tremendous, and a lot of the times when you look at the best PlayStation 2 games of all time, Metal Gear Solid 3 is certainly in the mix for best PlayStation 2 game of all time. I think a lot of people would rank it number one alongside, you know, the Shadow of the Colossuses of the world, and even the Pro Skaters rank pretty high. But yeah, great remake and very true to the original. Had a great time with that, and that's another one of those games, you know, put it in the category of games I'm gonna play for the rest of my life. Yeah, it might be a short playthrough for your first playthrough, but it's a game I'll go back to over and over and over again. So highly recommend that. $49.99 on that is great, so definitely give that a shout. Silent Hill F is $49.99. I mean, guys, I was not crazy about this game. You guys know that at this point in time, but you know, it's $50. If you love horror games, check it out. Again, a lot of people really liked it. It's one man's opinion that I wasn't crazy about it. I was not a fan of the combat whatsoever. I did think narratively, atmosphere, and a lot of those elements are what I tie to a quality horror game. That was done very well, but nevertheless, $49.99 on that. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Look, think what you want about Assassin's Creed Shadows. That is at a historic low price of $35. That is a tremendous deal. You know, relative to what Shadows has been. I know a lot of you guys have your opinions on Assassin's Creed Shadows. All right, don't shoot the messenger here. I'm just telling you about the good deals, and this is by far the cheapest we've seen the game for. Look, if you ask me about open world games that I can have a fun time in terms of enjoying them from the standpoint of they're fun open worlds to explore and I can kind of mentally check out, the Assassin's Creed games will offer me that. Is that my ideal way of playing Assassin's Creed titles? Absolutely not. I would prefer them to be like the older style of Assassin's Creed games, but guess what? Those days are dead and buried. It is what it is, and $35 for AC Shadows. You can check that out. Star Wars Outlaws is down to $19.99. Definitely a good pickup for Star Wars Outlaws. You know, it's a game that I've said, once it gets to a low enough price point, I think a lot of people will end up enjoying it. But yeah, $19.99 is a price point that I would say is pretty darn good for it. So I would give it a recommendation. I think it's a pretty good buy. And yeah, $20 on that. Borderlands 4 is $48. Again, we've mentioned this quite a few times. Let's like rapid fire the ones that are repeats. It's $48. I would say smart money play is to wait a couple years and get the Super Ultra Deluxe Edition with even more content at a better price point and with more stuff rolling out for the game. So $48 on that. Digimon Story Time Stranger is down to $49.99. Great deal on this. Time Stranger is a fantastic game that I highly recommend you guys to go through. Even if you're not the biggest Digimon fan in the world, I think it's very much worth a playthrough, and I had a great time with it, so definitely give that a look. At $50, a good discount on that. RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business at $19.99 on this. This is the standalone expansion to RoboCop Rogue City. I would definitely recommend you to play RoboCop Rogue City before you play Unfinished Business, but $19.99 on that. Silent Hill 2, the remake, is $29.99. This did just get added to PlayStation Plus Extra, but a pretty decent deal on this, all things considered. It has been holding up in price for a little bit, so I would say $30 $30 on that is pretty good. We do have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, $30 on this. It's FF7 Rebirth. It's a tremendous, tremendous game. One of my favorite games of this entire generation and my number 2 game of 2024 behind Metaphor. But yeah, the game was phenomenal and I highly recommend it. At $30, it's a bargain. Pick up Remake, that's at $19.99. Rebirth's at $29.99. You can't go wrong with those. So those are the Best Buy deals. I did want to highlight a couple of Amazon deals, and we will call it for this video. Right off the top, we do have Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, $19.99 on this. If you know me, you know this is my kind of From Software game. Gigantic robot mecha action is right up my alley and something that I am going to really enjoy, and I had a great time with this. A lot of in-depth customization options, and I would highly recommend you to play this game blind without using a guide. If you use a guide for this game, it really eliminates like the trial and error process of this game, which I think is one of the most compelling parts about this game and makes it so enjoyable and warrants a lot of replayability as well. But yeah, $19.99 on this is great. I hope From Software, you know, I get the bread and butter as the Souls-like games. I get the bread and butter is going to be made on Elden Ring, the expansions, and so on and so forth. But hopefully they keep Armored Core around and I'm not left waiting another decade for the next Armored Core title. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is $30. Love this game last year. I just think this is a really enjoyable game in the sense of a game that doesn't take itself too seriously and it really harkens back to an era of gaming that I love, that PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era of shooters. You know, this is totally reminiscent of like Gears of War to me, and in the best way possible. It's over the top, it's testosterone fueled, and I just had a great time with it. I totally get why people have their issues of dropping $70 on it. You know, that's a pretty hefty price to pay, but now it's 30 bucks. It's gotten so many free updates. It's getting more free updates for the rest of this year and going into next year, so a lot to sink your teeth into. $30 on that. The first Berserker Khazan, $40 on this. Yeah, here I am recommending more Souls-likes. I did enjoy first Berserker Khazan. Would I pay $40 on it? Probably not, but I'm not a big Souls-like guy either. I love the art style in this game. I thought from a presentation standpoint, it was awesome. I thought the soundtrack was great, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It's also, you know, your boy's not very good at these kind of games, and whenever there's an easy difficulty, you know, I'm gonna be fiending on that easy difficulty on these Souls-like games, but yeah, had a good time with it for what it was, and apparently it did relatively well commercially, and hopefully there will be more games like this coming out of coming from Nexon. But $40 up for that is pretty good. And then lastly, I do want to give a shout to Split Fiction. This is down to $39.99. Yes, I do know that this isn't that big of a discount. It looks like this is one of those games that's just going to hold up in price for quite a while, which is a bummer. But I legitimately think a Split Fiction is one of the best games of the year. I don't think it got snubbed a Game of the Year nomination because that would suggest that I think any of the games are undeserving of the nomination. You got 6 spots. It is what it is, but I think Split Fiction could be interchangeable with a lot of the games on that list, but I don't have anything against it not getting nominated. I just thought it was incredible from a game design standpoint and how it utilizes the co-op aspect, implementing that into the gameplay. I just thought it was incredibly unique, and there was a lot of creativity in the design of this game. Obviously, you do have to have this foreign concept to play this game. It's kind of a foreign concept these days, and I know it was a little bit difficult for me to find one of these, but you do have to have a friend to play this game because it's a co-op only title. Only one of you have to buy the game, and then you can invite the other one for free. And I do know that some people view this game as, oh, this is a cool co-op game. I can get my significant other that's not super into video games to play the game. Guys, I do not think this is like a good gateway game. This game is pretty challenging, and there's quite a lot of depth to the gameplay. I don't think it's worthwhile. Like, if you want a co-op game that's good to play with a significant other and get them into gaming, Haven is the game you should be looking at. Split Fiction, work your way up to it, but yeah, if you have somebody to play with, it's a great game and one of the best of the year. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals available right now. VGP is crushing it with their deals. Best Buy's got a lot of good deals, and Amazon's got a lot of good deals as well. Just a ton of good stuff all around right now. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there and stay on lock for more of our coverage. we've got a ton of stuff to go over. So yeah, appreciate all of you guys checking out the videos as well. Thank you for watching. Sound off down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.